This is Cyberpunk 2077 running on a, I have no idea what the clock speed is, AMD Ryzen 5 2600 with 16 gigs of RAM and a NVIDIA Geforce GTX 1070 video card. So, taking a look at our settings, we are taking advantage of all of the modern upscaling and frame gen capability. We are outputting 1440p. So then I am running AMD FSR 3.1 and I am running FSR 3.0. And then I have the settings cranked all the way up. Now, I understand that this might be controversial to some people. I know there is a claim of, oh, you can't use frame gen until you're already hitting 60 FPS, that kind of thing. My opinion is this is an awesome experience. For what you're getting, for what the hardware is, for the cost of the hardware, the age of the hardware, overall, what you're doing here, I think that this is a perfectly serviceable experience. There are going to be those who disagree with me, and I guess you have your opinion, I have mine. But I think this looks great. Especially, I mean, so the other thing too, and I've mentioned this before, you always want to run, at least in my experience, you always want to run, when you're running FSR and frame gen, you don't want to try to do it on a stretched. So a good example of that is that the actual, not the recording window, but the actual monitor that I'm gaming on at the moment is a 32-inch LG 4K OLED. And the thing with that is you really don't want to run stretched. You want to run native. I mean, that's always the case with LCDs, but that's even more so the case when you're running with this upscaling and frame gen stuff going. And surprisingly enough, it actually doesn't even look that bad here. But it would look even better if I was running on a native 1440 monitor, which actually I did just pick up a nice IPS 1440p. That I'm gonna actually pull my I have a 1080p IPS 280 hertz, and that was my low end before, but I've decided that I'm moving towards more or less expecting every machine I sell to be able to do at least a low end 1440 experience on pretty much everything I throw at it. That's really the direction I'm going in here. So I no longer need a high performance 1080. And that monitor actually was my own competitive gaming monitor from, oh, come on, let me out. This isn't good. Am I stuck? I might be stuck here. This is never good. Oh, okay, cool, we got out. Yeah, that was my my own competitive gaming monitor before I got the one I have now. And now that I can do 4K 240 or 1080 480, because this thing's switchable, that monitor's more or less redundant. So I'm going to move over to my secondary monitor being a 1440 high refresh rate. That's interesting, the way that rendered. But I actually, the last couple of days I've been playing on this one. To be honest, I don't actually game on my own gaming computer anymore. I've got a 13900K with a 4090, but I never use it. I'm finding that pretty much all of the systems I sell now can game at a level that generally makes me myself happy, and so I basically never use my own build anymore. I thought about selling it, but I like having the 4090 at my disposal on those rare times that I do decide, hey, I wanna just spend a whole day. Like I get a day off from work and I'm like, okay, I don't want to build systems. I don't want to do anything. Or maybe like a day that I'm sick or something like that. It's nice to be able to grab it and just blow a whole day gaming on that sucker, but that's about all I use it for at this point. But now pretty much all my own gaming is on systems like this. And to be honest, I'm perfectly happy with this. I've never been one of those people that would say, oh, I don't care about the way it looks. I only care about the story. I do care about the way it looks, but I think that this looks fine. Let's see. So what I'm really trying to do now is I want to drive. Oh, that cop's going to be mad at me. Oh, come on. Now I'm going to have the cops coming after me. I'm telling you, NCPD, you do not mess with them. No good. I didn't even hit him. So now what we want to do is see... Oh, that was interesting. I've actually been seeing that a bit on Cyberpunk lately. I don't know if it's if they made some changes that didn't quite work right on 2.3 or what, but yeah, I've been seeing that a bit lately, where you get this like suddenly there's nothing there or it's not rendered right, that kind of thing. It seemed like they had it fixed for a while. Okay. So we're trying to find out. We're just making sure that when we're in the more heavily populated areas and there's more going on, that that the frame rate doesn't suddenly drop from, say, low to mid 50s down to, say, like 30 or something like that, which it doesn't seem to be. And sometimes I'll lower the settings a bit because you don't necessarily have to be maxing out. But if I'm going to run the upscaling, I'd prefer to have the settings maxed if possible. Yeah, this really is not a bad experience. To be honest, I'm actually really impressed with the Ryzen 5. I've never actually messed with one of these before. This is the first build I've ever done with one. Initially, I didn't want to use Ryzen because I didn't think people really knew what it was. I thought more buyers just would look at it and be like, what is a Ryzen? But now it seems like people know what they are, so now I mess with them a little bit more. But this is pretty good. The stuff I've read is when I compared, it sounded like the Ryzen 5 3600 or sorry 2600 was slightly inferior to the i7 8700K. It's basically a bastardized discount 8700K from what I could find from the research I did. It sounded like gaming performance would be close, but just a tiny hair off from as good as an 8700K, or so I read. But this is definitely tolerable. So I'm gonna say that this build delivers a solid 1440p experience on Cyberpunk 2077. So, oh, and by the way, that little glitch right there, I should point out, I am running this off of a hard drive as well, a USB external hard drive. So take that, hard drive haters. Anyway, thanks for watching the video.